Hey, this is the first episode of This Is Gonna Die podcast. This is James speaking.
We're here with me, Nick, Chris. He's a guy. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, I'm Easy Breezy. Welcome live, 94 from Houston, Texas. 45 past the hour.
And this is Lorenzo.
All right. So things are gonna be a little confusing and not so clear because this is our first time and we're just kind of running, just seeing what's gonna happen with this. So please be patient. We're doing our best. So this is called This Is Gonna Die. So first of all, the title comes from a viral video from several years ago.
This is gonna die.
It's called This Is Gonna Die. Well, that's not the title of the video. The title of the video is called The Jefferson Street Incident, where a man is he nearly overdoses on shrooms. I believe he takes 2 to 3 times the actual amount that the average person takes.
Yeah.
It's fucking
And
hilarious.
he's just flipping out, pretty much. If you just look up Jefferson Street Incident, you'll see the video, and you'll see why we call it this.
Yeah, I think originally it was intended to be like an informational video
Right.
for police and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It actually coincidentally ends up being fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it got posted online, but whoever did it, I'm very thankful because there's so many gems in that video. Like we've been quoting this video for years.
Yeah, we actually have a quote wall on our board,
Yeah.
or a board on our wall that we call our quote wall.
Yeah.
And God, it's just littered with quotes from that video.
Can you hear the eating?
The smacking of the lips.
Somebody missed the meeting on the rules.
Yeah. So we had like a 10-minute session about guidelines of what we do's and don'ts on what we're gonna do, and
30 seconds in.
30 seconds in, Lorenzo's breaking half
all
the
I hear
rules.
is
What can I say? I'm a maverick. I'm hungry.
It's gonna be fucking great when we actually listen to it and you didn't even hear it. Chris is just
we
pointing
just sound
it out
like assholes.
Well, going on about that video, I used to scare the shit out of my sister. I told her that it was actually a video of a guy getting possessed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Jesus.
No, I told you if I didn't know any better, that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah, no, definitely. It could easily be a fucking Exorcist video.
we definitely should have showed Chris the video before.
I don't know what to say.
He has no idea
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
So, the guy's just going nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically the paramedics, the guy's mother calls the cops, and they're being very careful with him.
Yeah.
They're babying him because he's having a bad trip.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's just flipping shit.
Yeah, the
in his mom's house.
video starts off with a phone call with his mother speaking to the dispatcher, and his mother is scared, saying, "You know, my son is taking something. He's acting crazy. I don't know what to do. Please send somebody over."
This is real.
Yeah, this is
absolutely.
real.
Yeah.
It's not staged. This was a real phone call, and it switches over to footage of the cop saying, "Okay, we're about to go in." And as he goes in, one of the first things you notice is that the police already have him pinned to the floor. Not only that, he is butt naked, like absolutely nude birthday suit, just naked. And the video is about 20 minutes of him just speaking nonsense.
Speaking in tongues.
Yeah, he's using like really weird verbiage, I guess, and it's not making any sense, but it's just so quotable.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's just one of the things he was saying. He was like, "This is gonna die. This is gonna die now."
Yeah.
And we have that on our quote wall, so that's just. It just
Yeah.
kind of came to me one day, so it's behind. You can't see it. Neither can you.
Yeah.
This isn't a video podcast.
Yeah, me and James were actually talking that a lot of people probably would actually find that video very disturbing, which is why it's such a great thing to base this show off of. Because I mean, the kind of people who would find that offensive, you know, are probably the kind of people who would find our type of humor offensive. So it's a good way to weed out exactly what audience we want.
So we had a rule about the water, the water bottles, and Chris is very delicately holding the water bottle.
He's trying to eliminate as much background noise as
It's
possible.
very graceful. We wish you could watch this.
Yeah, definitely we will develop into something that includes video.
Yeah, for sure.
For now, you guys are just gonna have to use your imagination.
I was gonna say today I was talking to this. Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to this.
Already interrupting me.
Yeah.
Like that was rule 1.
All right, this is a failure.
Yeah.
Did you want to say something? Okay. So I was talking to the lady that I do some work for. She's like 60 something. She's pretty old, and I was explaining to her what we were gonna be doing tonight, and I was trying to explain to her the function of the podcast, like what it's for, the format, and everything. And
You had to start off with like, well, this is the internet. The internet is
so man-made fire one.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Bill Gates?
And I was explaining to her the whole situation, and she was giving me this really fucked up look the entire time. Like with her eyes, she was saying like, "Who the fuck is gonna listen to you and your fucking retarded friends talk? Who gives a fuck?"
Yeah.
Like she was just like, "Oh yeah, that sounds fun. What the fucking
That
idiot."
sounds entertaining.
And so
She was right.
Yeah, in all honesty, probably nobody's gonna listen to this. We're gonna try and get some of our close friends to listen to it by saying, "Hey, come listen to our thing. This is how you find it on the internet." And then they're gonna come to us a few days later, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot." Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them. Who the fuck wants to listen to it?
Yeah, this was a dumb idea.
So how you been, Chris? Yeah, I haven't seen you since like the Super Bowl party.
Oh, that's true. That
That
was so many days ago. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. No, I haven't done much since the Super Bowl party either.
Yeah. I've actually been just waiting on the next Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's all I look forward to every year.
Yeah.
Chris and I were talking about doing a podcast, maybe at this,
Dying here.
maybe at this. I think
all
at
night.
the Super Bowl party, Chris
Sorry.
and I were talking about. Hey, you good, man? You
Sorry,
good?
sorry.
I'm just fucking tired of this.
Jesus. Background noise, man.
James just ripped my pants off, people. I don't know why I'm getting close.
We were talking about doing this podcast thing, and I was telling him that, like, man, I don't know if we can do this, or at least Nicholas and I, because we have this really fucked up, morbid sense of humor. It's morbid, it can be racist, sexist, homophobic, and the thing is, we're none of those things.
No,
But
we absolutely are bigots.
I am Donald Trump's #1 fan.
Yeah.
Let's not attract the wrong
So it's a little hard to make everyone understand that everything we do is pretty much based off humor, and the things we say are out of humor and not hatred.
Yeah. James actually said this to me once. He was trying to describe why he reacts to certain things the way he reacts, and the best way, he put it the best way possible. He basically said everything revolves around a choice between right and wrong for most people. But for himself, everything revolves around the right and funny choice. And 98% of the time, he's going to take the funny choice.
Yeah.
He's going to do whatever the funny option is.
That's true, and it gets me in a lot of trouble. Like with my personal relationships, like especially with like girlfriends. Like, so I guess people just didn't. Some people are fragile. Not everybody can take like a racist joke or something.
Yeah.
Like Nicholas the other day, he was explaining to me why he hates black people. And I was saying, Nicholas, don't say that about all black people. And he said, no, I hate them all.
Is that true? You don't like black people?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely not. I love black people. I actually have several black people who work for me.
Oh.
They make great employees. But friends, no. Not for me.
You get real tired of their songs. Though, right?
Reparations? What? I think it's important noting I'm Hispanic. Not white. I'm Hispanic. I can't be racist.
Yeah, none of us are privileged.
Well, that's not true. I am white.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wait,
I have
yeah.
some type of privilege.
Okay.
Chris kind
I'm
of looks
half
white.
white.
Yeah, he's
I'm
half
half
white.
white.
He's half
You're
privileged.
half privileged.
There's
Yeah,
something going
privilege.
on there. Something. Huh?
Do you feel that your race actually your white race brings any type of privilege to your life?
I don't. I don't. But
Let the record show.
I've also never identified myself as white, so
really?
maybe I don't see it then.
What do you identify? Do you define yourself as more Hispanic or just completely mixed?
I'm American.
You're American.
That's the God's honest truth, too.
Oh, okay.
I honestly do not identify as Mexican or white.
You know, I can totally relate to that because, like, growing up, I have dark fucking skin. Like, I look Mexican. I won sombrero.
Let the
away
record show.
He's pointing at his skin.
This stuff surrounding my bones is like extremely brown. I'm by far the darkest one here.
Yes.
Growing up, though, I would actually lie to people I went to school with. I would tell them I'm Native American just to excuse myself for not
really?
knowing.
Really?
Is that
for not knowing? Yeah, absolutely. No, when I was younger, even in high school, like people would ask me why I didn't speak Spanish. You know, why I only spoke English and why I didn't have a strong Mexican culture. And my only defense was I'm Native American. I'm not Mexican.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I would like lie about it and tell
Now,
people.
why is that? Let's
Because-
sink in deep. This is a
When did this
professional.
start?
Well,
This is
When
a
did
real
Mexico-
show
Were
here.
you molested by Mexicans?
I just really fucking hate Mexicans. That's all it is. Blacks, you are not alone. I'm sorry. That was. Yeah, see, this is definitely what's going to deter a lot of people from listening to
But I
us.
think that's good though, because that's like a filter. It's like super, like people that are easily butthurt. Sorry, that's cool.
Like, yeah, it's definitely going to filter out because, like we were saying a while ago, a lot of what we say, we're taking the funny option rather than the right option, and to a majority of people, that's going to come off as offensive. Like, yeah, I say a lot of things about blacks and Mexicans, and it comes off as racist. But like black people, I also got Mexicans who work for me too. So, I mean, I can't be that racist, right?
Yeah. No, why not? How
I
about
don't see how that theory makes sense.
It wasn't supposed to. It wasn't supposed to.
yeah. In the neighborhood where Nicholas and I, you kind of grew up right around here, right?
He grew up in the neighborhood next door
Lorenzo?
neighborhood.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
the funny thing about me is that like I used to go to the schools in Memorial. I used to live in the Memorial area. So then I went from there, which is majority of like
Wait.
white people and went to an international school.
Right.
So then I went
Which
straight-
was predominantly
yeah,
Hispanic.
Yeah.
Oh, almost fucking 90% Hispanic.
Yeah. And so then I went straight from there, straight over here to Sharpstown my sophomore year. What cultural shock that was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get from 10th grade on, yeah, I've been living here.
Oh, and you grew up in Alief, right, Chris?
See.
See?
Yeah.
Si, senor.
See, senor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is when you were growing up? Was Alief the same kind of area it is now, or did it change like Southwest?
It's
Changed a little bit.
maybe a little bit, I guess. I mean, I know when growing up, it's like blacks and Mexicans, or Hispanics. I guess that's true, but mostly Mexican anyway. But that's the majority.
Yeah.
In a classroom, you'd have maybe 2 white guys,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And then a lot of Asians and Indians too. Actually,
Well, that's a lot how mine and Lorenzo's school was because me and Lorenzo went to high school together,
yeah.
and our school, like I said, was like 90% Hispanic, and we only had maybe in our graduating class we had about 70 kids, I think. No, that was the grade before us. Our class had about 100 and it was like 120 maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But 90% of those students were Hispanic.
Yeah.
Maybe 5% of them were black, 4% of them were Asian, and then we had like 2 white kids in the entire school.
Wow. But
Yeah,
man, that's
yeah.
a lot.
Funny thing is, I think I knew one of the white kids. He ended up dropping out.
I knew both of the white kids. they were my only friends. I kept making fun of the blacks and Mexicans way too much.
Now, did you guys perceive racism back in high school and all that?
Absolutely.
Did we receive it or
Perceive it.
Okay.
Like, did I know that I was being racist
Or
Did you acknowledge racism?
Yeah.
Was
Did you-
racism around?
Was it present? Yeah. I guess that was sorry, that was the wrong word.
Let the record show that he used the wrong word.
Well, in our high school, it was in a way. One of the bigger issues we had wasn't really like Hispanics versus blacks or everybody picking on those 2 white kids or anything like that. One of the bigger problems we had was actually the Mexicans versus the Salvadorians, and it wasn't so much as like
They got a lot of time on their hands.
I never understood any of it
Yeah.
or like who was who. They were all Hispanic to me because, like I said, I grew up, telling everybody I was Native American. I tried to resent that part as much as fucking possible. But one of the bigger things I saw, especially around the Cinco de Mayo time of year, the 5th of May for those who aren't as strong.
I
in
get it
Spanish.
now.
Yeah, like around that time, you always saw those kids with, you know, the Mexican flags and shit, and that's when you found out who was fucking Salvadorian, because they'd be sitting there going, "Oh, Mexico fucking sucks."
And God forbid you mistake one for the other.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Oh no,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I used to intentionally piss people off whenever it came into a discussion on, like, you know, when I asked somebody, you know, where are you from, and they would say, "Oh, I'm from Guatemala," or "Oh, I'm from El Salvador." Just to piss them off, I would go, "Oh, what part of Mexico is that?"
Yeah.
And God, that is the most offensive thing you can say to them.
Yeah, they don't have our sense of humor, surprisingly. I think, did you receive, like, any type of racism? Did anyone actually receive racism in this neighborhood? I mean, even though everyone here at the table, except for me, is actually Hispanic. Or has some Hispanic in them.
I think the closest thing I've received to racism was actually when I was younger and I was in church school in my Sunday school classes. After a Sunday school class, there was we were kind of forced to volunteer at mass to greet people as they came in, and there was an elderly white lady. I mean, this lady had to have easily been 70 years old. She came to me and a smaller, younger Hispanic kid that was with me, and I was just blown away by what she said, because she approached 2 children. We were maybe 12 at the time, maybe. And she goes, "Why is it that y'all choose to come to this mass, to this church? You know, they have a Spanish one later on in the day. Why don't y'all come to this one? You guys are taking all the parking spots." And I was a 12-year-old kid who didn't speak Spanish. I only spoke English.
Or drive a car.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I was kind of blown away by this, because it was the first time I had ever acknowledged the fact, like, holy shit, I'm not white.
What a horrible day.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only experience I ever had, I don't even know if it's considered racist, but the principal at our high school at the time, when I first got there my sophomore year, like, I had gone my whole life just not speaking Spanish. My parents never spoke it to me. My grandparents speak it, but they never spoke it to me. I just got raised without speaking Spanish. So then when I got to our school my sophomore year, I was signing up for classes, and as a foreign language, he gave me, I wanted to take Spanish. So then I put that down as a class request, and then he was like, "Oh," and then the principal brought me into his office. He's like, "Oh, well, we seem to be having a lot of problems with that, is that Hispanic children are going into these classes knowing Spanish, and they're just taking it for the easy A. So I'm going to put you in Chinese." So tragically now I actually speak more Chinese than I do Spanish. Yeah.
Well, that's not useful at all.
Well, go ahead, show us some, man.
Now I
Let's hear
took
it.
3 years.
Yeah.
I took 3 years in a row of Chinese, and not 1 year of Spanish.
Yeah.
Let's hear something in Chinese.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm a little rusty.
How do you say a little rusty?
Just count.
How do you say hold the dog?
I'll hold the dog. Where's dinner?
Okay. I'm white, but nobody knew I was white because I'm dark. I have dark hair. I have dark hair.
Yeah, you've told me before that people used to mistake you as Hispanic.
Yeah, people they come up to me and they start speaking Spanish to me. And the thing is, my parents also didn't teach me Spanish because they were white as fuck. So they didn't teach me any Spanish. And people just walk up to me like asking for directions, just in school, just in general. And they were so annoyed by the fact that I didn't speak a fucking word of Spanish.
Man, I've gotten that so much.
I can't imagine if you're actually Hispanic.
Yeah. You know, Hispanics would come up to me all the time where I used to work, and they would instantly speak Spanish to me, and it almost broke their heart when I had to tell them, like, I'm sorry, sir, I don't speak Spanish. And what was even funnier was the few times where I tried to, like, communicate a little better with them, so I'd say, "I'm sorry, no hablo español." And they would hear me say that and go, "You just fucking spoke Spanish to me. What do you mean you don't speak Spanish?"
That pissed me off too.
Yeah.
What kind of sick joke are you playing?
That would make them way more pissed.
Yeah, I can imagine if someone walked up to me and were like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh, good. How about you?" And they're like, no English. Like, what the fuck?
That's like if a white person walked up to you and said, "I don't speak English."
I'd be like, okay.
Fuck you, you're full of shit.
Now, Chris has I don't know, you can talk about your biracial history, right?
Yeah.
Is that personal?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you're comfortable speaking
I
on both
am.
behalfs.
I am comfortable.
So,
Yes.
So, did you ever see any races? You said that, I think you told me before that you didn't really see any when you were a kid, right?
Yeah. Well, I think we were talking last week that I didn't see. I thought. Excuse me. I actually, as a naive 18-year-old, I thought racism didn't exist. I thought this was something from the 60s.
Yeah.
And not till I went into the workforce, and then all the 50-year-old guys was like, "Hey, yeah, man, you see them niggers over there?"
Jesus.
Didn't you watch the specials? Yeah, because I mean, well, I'm sure it happened in my school, but like I said, I don't identify myself, so maybe I'm not as sensitive to certain things that I see or hear. But
He thought racism was abolished with slavery in
yeah,
1985.
No one's all be racist anymore.
It's part of the 13th
Everybody stop
Amendment.
it.
Did you tell those guys that? Are you not aware of it?
no, I just
Didn't you
have
make
my
Michael
shit.
Jackson music video?
Awesome.
So if someone were to speak harshly, like in a genuine, like out of anger towards white people or Hispanic people, would it offend you at all? Or because you don't identify it, but you would just have no connection with it?
It doesn't offend me as a person.
Which half of you is more easily offended?
Yeah. Which half of you works harder?
I don't know how to answer that.
He's only half legal. Oh God, that's racist.
but that's me.
Yeah.
I'm not offended because I didn't identify it. So it's hard for me to be offended by a white comment or a Hispanic or Mexican comment because I don't identify to it.
Right.
So it'll be the same as a black, Chinese, or whatever because I don't identify to any of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Just let the courts know.
So you really only identify like with Americans.
So when someone talks shit about
American
America-
comments.
Yeah.
Those
So if I were
are
to talk shit about America,
that would offend me more.
all right,
Yeah,
put your
that's true.
fist down.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fight it right now.
He just put his mouthpiece in.
Yeah.
Bruce Buffer?
Do you know? Have you heard anti-American stuff? I mean, do you ever
yeah.
hear that?
Heck yeah.
Like, is it like friends or like in person?
I think. I mean, I don't hear it typically, especially being out the punk rock scene. That's when I heard it
Yeah,
the
that's
most.
true.
Yeah, America, down with capitalism and all that. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Let's bring down the machine.
And these are the people that don't know what they're talking about. These are the people that
Yeah.
are taking advantage of America and why it is such a great country.
Yeah.
You know, it's different. If you have there's plenty to complain about this country. There's stuff that's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
But to write off the whole country because of something stupid.
Yeah,
you
it's always
heard-
been funny seeing people who exercise their, who use the First Amendment to talk shit about the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly our country does have a dark history and it does have its secrets and shit that it does wrong, but at the same on the same token, like it provides so much to us that for us to just use the rights that it gives us to try and tear it down is just kind of redundant.
Yeah. Sometimes like you watch videos of people because I like to watch the videos of the people doing the street cooking. I don't know if you've ever seen those.
Street cooking.
Yeah, like people are just like cooking on the streets. It's kind of cool. Like especially like in
Let's talk more about that.
Yeah. well, like man, I'm watching this happen. It's like it's cool to see these people doing the food, like how they're cooking everything. It's like guerrilla fucking cooking show pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then but you see flies and shit everywhere, and right next to them
Yeah.
is like nasty fucking trash cans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, dude, I'm so fucking grateful that I was born in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's making me hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're showing you commercials at the Super Bowl about turning off your water to conserve water because of all the countries out there too. They don't have the advantage of having running water.
Yeah.
It's like, God dang, that's so awesome that we have that. We have mail that comes to our door. Some countries don't have that. As much
Yeah.
as we don't use mail anymore, it's great. We
Yeah,
have such
yeah.
these great things in it.
Yeah.
I personally prefer the carrier pigeon, to be honest. But I get what
Bring it
you're
back.
saying. I get what you're saying.
I'd rather communicate in smoke signals.
Let's
All right, commercial break. All right, on it's going to give you product support.
Oh, Jesus.
Call 1-800-336-ONITS and use the code. Oh, what's
This
it
is
called?
gonna
It's
die.
this is gonna die. To reach 20% off your first $100 order.
real quick. That's a
Oh.
horrible promo code for something that's a health and wellness product.
Well, it's gonna. Well, it eventually go to TIGD, right? This is gonna, TIGD, right?
This is
Tig.
gonna die.
You just got tigged. That's what I mean.
That almost sounds like a racial
Yeah.
slur.
Or sexual.
Get away from me, you
I'd-
fucking tig.
Yeah, I'd take the fuck out of the girl.
Oh man, this is gonna die.
Yeah, actually, on the reels though, someone made us some, I don't know what the fuck, Cinnabons with apples. I don't fucking
They're
know.
apple roses. It's like a muffin covered in cinnamon with apples thrown in it.
Yeah, we don't really care. But she asked us to give her thing a plug anyway, even if no one's gonna listen to this. It's called Daisy Cakes.
Oh yeah, receive if you use the code IDGDB at daisycakes.com, receive 20% off your first $200.
Oh man, what a deal.
Wait, IGDB?
Use the code IDGDB.
Just kind of throw some random letters. Just hit your keyboard randomly. It might be the right
If you go
one.
onto their Facebook page, just smash your keyboard a bunch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sure she'll do something.
Well, it's not saying something. Baking related.
Baking related, yes.
But anyway, back to racism. So the first thing I hate about white people.
We got to give them their share of the hate.
Yeah. So what's up with them being so great, right? Who the fuck are they? Just how superior they are, right?
Yeah.
Disgusting, am I right?
Yeah.
No, the thing is, we typically kind of make more fun of Hispanics and blacks only because of the area that we live in. That's all we ever really see typically. And so I think if you hang out with us on a regular basis, but you don't really fully get to know us, is that we can make fun of anybody. Oh, my bad, I'm tapping the table. My bad.
Background noises, man.
If we lived around a bunch of Asians or Jewish or Polish people, we would be making fun of them just as much.
You know what? Yeah, now that I'm older and I'm more adult about it, I'm more conscious about why I've always been kind of resentful towards the Hispanic culture, because I am Hispanic. You know, my parents are.
You're Mexican as fuck.
Yeah, my parents are more Americanized, but my grandparents, holy shit, are they Mexican? Not a lick of English between the two of them.
And they both hopped a fence, right?
One of them did. The other one drove a truck through, just straight the fuck through.
So what the fuck was the other one doing hopping the fence? The struggle if it's what? I'm sorry, sweetie.
Best
Good
of
luck with those border patrol agents.
She was the distraction.
But definitely, as I'm older, I think the reason I was more resentful towards Hispanic culture and why I have so much more shit to talk about them than anyone else is because I know the most about them, because I relate to that culture the most. And as much as it fucking kills me to admit that, you know, like, because I relate to them is why I hate them. Because I actually know of my culture is why I kind of push myself away from it. I was born into that stuff, but I try to be more American than anything.
Yeah, sometimes I genuinely completely forget that Nicholas is Hispanic, much less Mexican.
Yeah.
I genuinely forget that sometimes. Because it's first of all, it's not even something you should remember anyway. When you're talking to somebody, it's completely irrelevant anyway. But I would have to think for a few seconds if you're like, what's Race's background?
Yeah.
Or what's Nick's background? Like, oh, he's Mexican.
Yeah, like me and him are constantly we constantly talk about racist shit, and you know, we put all races on the back burner of these conversations. We will insult just about any race. Whites, blacks, Mexicans, Asians, Indians, Russians, everybody. Nobody is, you know, free from our wrath. But I
Going to
mean,
kill you.
it becomes apparent especially when we start talking shit about Hispanics, you know, how freely he speaks, like, ill about Hispanics in front of me, and it's something that neither one of us
Throwing
are
you the
even
bus.
that either one of us are even aware of. You know that he's talking shit about Hispanics right in the Mexican's face. And the funniest part about it is the Mexican himself probably has more shit to talk than he ever could.
Yeah. You know, to be completely honest though, I grew up in a house where my grandma, she'd be like 90 something right now if she was still alive. So she was old. She's old as dirt. She passed away, but yeah, my bad, I keep doing that. But she was like genuinely like super fucking racist. She was she's from like south of Conroe somewhere. But anyway, so
We're south of Conroe.
huh? Fuck. I forgot. I can't remember what it's called. But so I grew up in a house where huh? That's what it's called. So I grew up in a house where like the N word was just thrown around like nothing. And if I brought a black kid home, I'd get my fucking ass kicked. So for the longest time, I was like, man, I guess these people really are bad. And then going to school, I got fucked with like a lot, like pretty fucking often. So it just confirmed like these racist ideas I had until probably in like high school when I started making more friends, I guess, of other races.
Mm-hmm.
Like Adrian was one of one of the first few like Hispanics that I really became close with. What the fuck is that? Anyway.
Sorry, we got douchebags in the neighborhood who think they have the fastest car in the fucking city.
And but when I started making friends, I was like, man, this is so fucked off. Like, 'cause they like all the same stuff I do. They talk like I do. They hate all the crime and all the shit that's going around me. And then I realized, like, man, this is all wrong. Like, all these ideas, all these preconceived notions about an entire race of people, I was putting a blanket on and saying, you're that.
I grew up thinking these minorities were monsters. It turns out my grandma's a bitch.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it's not even just race. We make fun of, like, really fucked up things. Like, he talks shit about my parents being dead.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Like it gets bad. People are so fucking confused by us when we're in public talking shit about that stuff.
Yeah, we actually go to a store where we buy things pretty often, enough for the clerks there to recognize us, who we are.
It's a smoke shop. It's a very small shop. So.
It's a smoke shop, and these guys know our faces. They probably don't know our names, but every time we go in, it's we're familiar to them. They know us, and yeah, one of them straight up called me a piece of shit because of the way I was talking to James. I mean, I was just insulting everything about him. The fact that he doesn't have parents and where he's from and how he's an amputee. And I mean, everything. Just nothing was, there were no boundaries. And I'm making all these absolutely horrible jokes. And the guy who works at this smoke shop is just looking at me like, dude, you are a real fucking piece of shit. There was another customer in there who was just like in disbelief that I was saying the things I was saying to this man's face, man. It was bad. It was hilarious, but it was bad. And you could tell on the face of the guy who worked there, he knew I was a piece of shit. He knew I was being an asshole, but he was laughing. The whole time he would go, "You're an asshole," followed by that was funny as shit.
You know what would make it like 10 times worse if like you were saying these things and I just like a single teardrop just started going down my face.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I asked you not to talk about that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how fucking fast would you be an actual piece of shit to them and just be kicked out of the store because the people police came down and took you away?
When in reality, in that scenario, it's you being the asshole because you know exactly what you're doing. You're not offended by any of this shit. We've passed all those nice formalities between each other where we could just say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, it's a point where it's like probably uncomfortable to be around us sometimes.
Yeah,
we're probably just way too comfortable with each other. And then on top of that, all of us like hump each other and shit. Like I guess we don't hump Chris as much, but we're making a note.
They don't hump me. Yeah. They don't hump me.
Just go ahead and put that on the record.
Well, it's on the list to do. It's just we haven't gotten around to it.
We have plans to hump him. It just hasn't happened yet.
I'm ready to be humped.
Well, it has to be out of nowhere, man. It's like it's not romantic.
Sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, dude, what did we tell you about not moving in your chair?
We need some sound effects, right?
Dude.
No, not yet.
Here comes the helicopter.
What is that about?
I don't think we're ready for any of that.
So, the thing is, we're not hateful, but I really think this part of the podcast was important to say, because if you listen to that's not even a podcast, I know. Because if you listen to all of our other audio recordings that are going to be on YouTube, I don't want people to hear shit and not like hear this one first to understand like our sense of humor.
Yeah.
Well, sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
No, go
ahead.
for it, go for
You've
it.
already interrupted me.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I've mentioned the Great Ty Glass podcast. It's a
A few times.
super podcast, but
The finest.
he absolutely he goes on and on. He makes a bunch of jokes and blah 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 blah, and he goes back and forth about that he needs to always say, okay, I'm only saying this, saying this and this. But it's like, we all know, Todd. You don't have to keep telling us,
Yeah.
Todd. We all understand.
Yeah.
So if you as long as the podcast keep happening and you keep talking, it's not that big
And
of a deal.
that's that's kind of where this what was it, audio clip?
It's just
episode.
it's audio episode. Yeah.
Episode.
Podcast.
That's where
Episode
this
1.
really comes into play, because it's a good thing that we're saying what we're saying, because a lot of what we have said here today is offensive, and people will find it offensive, and it's good that they find it offensive, because
That means
it'll deter them from listening again. We don't need them in our life.
Yeah.
Whoa, you heard it first.
We don't need that positivity in our
Yeah.
life.
Look, we don't want good
We don't
people
want
listening
listeners.
to
We're not looking to change.
Let's just put it this
Stop
way.
listening.
If you haven't stopped listening by now, then chances are you're probably at least a little bit interested in what we're talking about, which means you're not the one we were trying to weed out.
Yeah, so you're good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, you're a shitty person.
For this one though, I'm pretty sure it's only going to be a couple of our friends really listening to this though.
Yeah.
But hopefully, if this actually gets a following or any type of buzz, like I told you, you'll not know us. You'll never have met us. You'll be in another place listening to this right now.
Yeah.
But you'll understand that
I'm
our
fighting,
words
bro.
are not hateful.
Wow. That was so soothing how you
Was
said
it?
that.
Jesus.
Say it again.
Okay.
Anybody,
Some music.
anybody else got a boner?
Another thing about gay people. No,
Let's get in there.
we just found out today that what the fuck is that mosquito? Get the fuck out of this podcast. He's gonna land right on the mic and sabotage the whole thing.
Yeah, I think
The-
you were,
the trick-
I know what you were leading on to, since we were on the topic of, black
Ra-
people. Oh, racism. Yeah, go ahead.
I think today is the 4th anniversary of Trayvon Martin.
4th anniversary. Today, on this day, what's today? February
25th.
26th. February 26th. On this day, 4 years ago, tonight was actually the death of Trayvon Martin.
And after 4 years has gone by, I had a really strong opinion at the time, but I think that 4 years, it's not completely changed. It for sure hasn't completely changed, but my feelings are definitely a little bit different completely.
Ooh, let's hear it.
That George Zimmerman dude,
A
he's,
little bit different completely.
yeah, just a little bit different. So that George Zimmerman guy, I don't know if y'all have heard about it, but he's been fucking in and out of trouble pretty constantly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you heard about
He's
all that?
in and out of the news on
Yeah, and
a pretty regular basis.
if none of that had happened,
Nobody would know who
yeah,
he is.
we would have people would have forgotten about him by now.
Mm-hmm.
But because he keeps getting arrested and keeps getting in trouble, and now it's like, all right, you got fucking lucky that you got off the first time,
Yeah.
and now you're just like rubbing it in the face of people
Yeah.
that you got off that one time. And I don't know how the fuck he hasn't been killed yet. I don't want him to get
So
killed.
what was your opinion, at least in the beginning time?
I mean, in the beginning,
Not immediately. I think everybody kind of had the same opinion immediately,
yeah,
but then everybody kind of took sides.
yeah, definitely.
So what was your side?
My personally,
sorry.
I waited until like the autopsy and stuff came out because I didn't want to just speak and just be like, "Oh, he's a cop. He's a good guy. He did it. Oh, he's black. He's a criminal. He did it." Like I
He was
didn't
on
want
the
to.
cop though?
Huh? No, the cop.
No.
No.
He wasn't
like
talking.
a vol- he was
Oh
like
no.
a-
Okay. Yeah.
he was a
Okay.
neighborhood watch
Yeah, he was
guy.
neighborhood watch. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. So at first, I just kind of jumped to the conclusion that he was probably like a thug or something, and that he was off doing stupid shit. And I honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I really don't know. To be honest, I think it could have easily been, I don't think there's a black and white. It could have been both their faults. You know, because I've had people fucking say stupid shit to me and just keep walking or ignore them, you know, but I've also been in a situation where you're seeing somebody do something you don't like. I don't really know. I haven't even thought about this in years. So
This is thought provoking.
yeah, I mean, I think he's probably a shitty person. Is that possible?
Yeah.
That he's a bad
Yeah.
person?
Yeah.
Trayvon Martin or Mark Zimmerman? Or
Well, he's no longer a person, so I would say George Zimmerman.
George Zimmerman. I'm thinking Mark Zuckerberg. He's a shitty person too.
I'm pretty sure Mark Zuckerberg shot Trayvon Martin. That's
Zuckerberg?
There was a second
That's a cool
shooter.
name.
Grassy knoll. But you know, I really don't know, man. Now that I'm thinking about it now, to be completely honest, I don't know. I think he's definitely a shitty person. Whether or not in that moment he was doing the right thing or not, I still don't know actually.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of why he got off. Now, like, I don't condone and I don't think it's right what happened, but that's the beauty of our system, that he got off because reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
That's why. That's why it proves that the system works. Here's a guy that it could go one way. Clearly, it could go one way. This is a guy that was just a big macho man, and he wants to prove his grounds or whatever, and he wants to just take out black people or whatever. Whatever his theory could have been, I don't know, but maybe not though.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just caught in the wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
Maybe this kid was a bad kid. I don't know, but
It's the fact that we don't have much information, because really the only two people who know exactly what happened are George Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin, and only one of those people is alive. And
half of them are dead.
Yeah, and it's like the old saying goes, you know, history is written by the victors. You know, George Zimmerman is the only one
deep, bro.
who can really say...
This is the real
or
show.
George Zimmerman is the only person who can say what happened. And, you know, it'd be hard to argue with him because he's the only person alive today who was actually there.
we're still.
You know, obviously Trayvon Martin can't speak for himself in this case, but you know, we don't know what happened. You know, it could be that George Zimmerman truly is a racist. It could be that he was out looking for someone to kill, and he just, lucky day him, he found a young African American kid, and you know, he instigated and said whatever he could to get this kid to confront him, and took it as an opportunity to execute him.
Yeah.
However, it could just as easily been the opposite, where he confronted a kid and said, "Hey, you know, what are you doing? It's late at night and you look awfully suspicious." And for all we know, this kid could have been way too influenced by rap music and started thugging out on this guy, you know, forcing him to defend himself. But the fact of the matter is, we don't know. I mean, it was obvious there was a struggle. The police had proved that through, you know, the evidence that they found in the scene of the crime. Or lack of crime. But, you know, nobody truly knows what led up to that struggle.
No.
Except for George Zimmerman, and, you know, he was, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? He wasn't found guilty of it. He got off the hook.
Yeah.
He was exonerated.
But like the one thing, I don't know what you guys take on, but the one thing I
disagree.
can see, the one thing is that there's two people involved. One of them should not have been there, and that is the one who killed George Zimmerman. He should not have been there.
Yeah.
I mean, he was told, "Don't do that."
yeah.
Multiple times. I mean, that's not his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I first heard about it on the news, and that's exactly what I thought the whole time. The whole time was that, like, oh, what's the big deal? You know, this guy was doing his job, and then I find out that he wasn't a cop.
Yeah,
He's just a neighborhood
he-
watch guy who shouldn't have had a gun in the first place.
Yeah, he wasn't a cop. He was a neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
His job was observe and report. He reported. He observed. He reported. It should have been done there.
Yeah. And they had explicitly told him, I heard, you know, played the recording, do not follow him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if things would have happened how they were supposed to, the cops would have been dispatched to the area, and by the time they got there, this kid would have already have been home or committing a crime, in which case the cops would have, you know, done something about it. They would have done their job.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, George Zimmerman didn't do that. He acted.
Yeah.
He went against what the police had told him.
Yeah. and then because of that, there's a kid dead.
Yeah.
And then it's then for whatever reason, when stuff like this happens in this country, or I don't know if it's only this country, but it becomes a race war. And then the race war becomes a political war too.
Absolutely.
Now it's the Democrats believe this, and it's weird that's a political issue.
Yeah, it's
all of a
become a
sudden.
political stance.
It's weird.
It's almost guaranteed that, if you're on the liberal side of the spectrum, you side with Trayvon Martin. And if you're on the conservative side of the spectrum, you side with George Zimmerman. And, I mean, it's not guaranteed, but,
Yeah.
It's pretty accurate
it's
assessment of
pretty
it.
accurate assessment, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, I mean... I'm sorry, people are making faces, I apologize. I'm usually very professional.
Yeah, I think everybody just interrupted everybody.
Yeah.
And James
I'm
came
mad
out
at-
on top.
Yeah, I'm mad at everybody.
You own me or something?
Yeah, there was so many... okay, here's one thing that we do know. We know why why he won in court. Do y'all know about his girlfriend in that whole situation?
Why he won?
Yeah. Why
I
he
thought there
why
just
he was
wasn't enough
exonerated.
evidence to prove that
well,
he did it.
Well, yeah, he pretty much won. But no, it was more than that. Because the jurors and stuff, because there was like an actual trial and stuff.
Yeah.
And so basically,
Obviously.
yeah.
Don't you have to?
Well,
Wait,
no,
there was a trial?
no, because before something goes to trial, it goes to something else. I forgot what it's called.
They go to a court to find out if they want to charge him with it. or
Yeah,
not.
but yeah, so there's two different parts.
Well, they figure out what they want to charge him with.
If they can, yeah.
Yeah, like in that case, I'm pretty sure it was like either manslaughter or murder.
Yeah.
Is,
Yeah,
that's
we're
what they
not.
were deciding on.
Yeah, we're not pros on this, so just
Yeah.
ignoring our ignorance. So he was on the phone with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend is kind of what fucked up his case because she went on trial. I got really into it. I watched all the boring trial stuff, and his girlfriend was talking about the situation, and she was really, really dumb and uneducated, and she was like every fucking negative.
Oh, Trayvon's.
Trayvon's girlfriend.
Okay, yeah,
yes.
because I was thinking George Zimmerman.
Oh, no,
Okay,
no.
but yeah, I remember
Yeah.
this. Sorry.
Okay,
Go on.
yeah.
Sorry.
Not
The audience members, they just tweeted me, said that they didn't
really?
understand what was going on.
Okay, well, I'm glad you figured that out. Thank you, tweeters.
Waters.
Twatters. So basically, yeah, like I said, his girlfriend was pretty much every negative black stereotype you could ever have in a person. She was super uneducated. She was really lazy. Like her speaking was even labored for some whatever reason. Like she was just really off-putting person. And she said during the trial, she was asking about what he was saying while they were on the phone with him. And apparently, he had used racial. When Trayvon was talking to George, he was screaming out racist white things towards him, and she decided that she was being completely honest, even though they told her not to tell her. Like they gave her very specifically what to say, and she didn't do it. And that she was the last witness, and that's when people were like, "Fuck!" Like a lot of people feel that is why the jury decided that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was a big reason in him being let off. Not
But-
completely.
So it's her fault.
Yeah, people do blame it on her. People do put it on her because
Go ahead, Chris. Let it out.
you.
I think he just wanted to say butt a few
Do you have to use
times.
the bathroom?
No, but okay, see, I didn't know. I thought it was just the fact there's not enough evidence. There's not a smoking gun or anything like that. There's
Yeah.
no video.
Well,
There's
there's
No,
it
no.
became a character thing after a while.
Well,
Yeah, like I said, there was
that's-
evidence that there was a scuffle, that there
Yeah.
was conflict,
Yes.
but there was no evidence suggesting how it was initiated.
Yeah. I know, that's what I'm saying. I
You know,
thought that was the
so,
main thing.
So the hardest thing to prove was whether he straight up murdered this kid,
Yeah.
or it was self-defense. And what James was saying is because of that girl's testimony, because she said, yeah, Trayvon Martin said some pretty fucked up shit to George Zimmerman, some pretty racist shit. It
before
seemed-
the fight ensued.
yeah, before the actual confrontation started, before the physical confrontation started, he said these things, and that could have been what provoked him. That could have been what initiated the physical conflict.
Yeah.
That shows that he's not. I guess not, it demonstrates that he's not a great person. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think it should matter. I don't think it's not justifiable for murder.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not justifiable
Obviously.
for murder.
Yeah.
And that's what's weird too, because the case was Zimmerman versus whatever the city or what
state, whatever.
Yeah. It wasn't Zimmerman versus Martin or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
what it turned into.
Yeah.
And I just didn't understand why it was two characters, especially one that was dead.
Yeah.
And you know, one side will put up the nice football picture, then the other side will throw up his, I guess his Facebook thug pictures or whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
and then
that's
it's
right.
like, it's
That's
like, what
right.
the heck? First of all, I don't know why you gotta put that up there anyway. Put up the football picture. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, this kid is dead. He's
Yeah.
got parents. He's got whatever family members that have to live with this.
Yeah.
It's like, why you gotta do that to this kid?
Well, they were trying. Yeah, they were trying to feed into. They were trying to feed to people, especially towards the jury, mostly.
Yeah.
What type of person Trayvon Martin was.
And that's all they could do because he's gone.
Yeah, I mean that's all they could do because he can't testify.
That's
on
all
his
you
own
can go
behalf.
off on is what they were like.
So you have to use what you've been told his personality was like.
Yeah.
To, assume what actions he took in the situation. And if you tell somebody, yeah, he was this thugged out kid who was, who was into the, stereotypical gangster persona, breaking laws, doing drugs and stuff like that, it's a lot easier for you to convince, if the jury believes that that's his character, it's a lot easier to convince them that he was the aggressor in the situation, as opposed to, letting them show the picture of him being this football player in school and, telling them, oh yeah, he was a good kid. It'd be a lot harder to, convince a jury that kid
Yeah.
was an aggressor in the situation. Of course, then if you see that kid versus George Zimmerman, you're going to think, okay, George Zimmerman had it out for a young black kid. But if you see George Zimmerman versus the young thugged out African American, then you're going to see George Zimmerman as somebody who was just defending themselves.
yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
so-
No, I mean,
so
I get it.
complicated.
It's all. Yeah, sorry.
It's so complicated.
yeah, it's just way too complicated.
Rule
My head
5.
hurts.
Keep breaking it.
Yeah, dude, just
And I
cross
just
that
keep-
rule
Cross
out.
it out.
But yeah, I know. I mean, I get it. They gotta win cases. You know?
Yeah.
Lawyers, they gotta do what they gotta
Yeah,
do.
that's what they're getting paid for.
But it just sucks that this is what blows up in the media. This is what trickles down to
Yeah.
people like you and I. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, next topic. Top of the hour. Going
wanna
at you.
stop
The Zoo
interrupting
Crew.
people, James?
Transgenders in the bathroom. All right, Lorenzo is actually transgendered himself, so
Yeah.
we'd like to hear what he has to say.
Post-op or pre-op?
He's actually having the operation done right now.
Yeah, if you look underneath the table, there's a surgeon and what used to be his penis. But that was a big Houston thing. That was all Houston. That was our thing. Like
Yeah.
that didn't. I don't know if that happens in other places. We talked about this last week or last week. as
Oh,
well.
you guys had a podcast without me?
No, when we were all together.
No, this is our first non-podcast.
This is not a podcast.
That's why I said non-podcast,
That's a good
because
title.
it's not a podcast.
We're actually not in a pod right now. For all the listeners,
And we ain't
we're,
casting shit.
yeah, we're not in a pod. Please excuse us. Sorry. But this is not a pod.
I'm confused.
But yeah, let me check the time on this.
All right. Yeah.
11 past the hour.
Yeah, we usually plan. We were actually planning on doing this, making this 30-minute video.
But
Keep rolling, man. Go in for the decent. Keep rolling, right?
It's gone a little bit past that.
No, it's cool. You know what? We can do it as long as this flows.
No.
Cut
okay.
it into 2 episodes.
Look, I think people are dumb. They have short attention spans.
Listen, I listen to podcasts all day and I'm done. I can do it.
Absolutely, yeah. I won't disagree with you there.
like the Todd Glass show.
What happens on the Todd Glass show?
Well, he'll sometimes have these episodes that are like 5 hours long, and he'll cut them up. He'll cut them up in half, or he'll put up 3-hour episodes
Dude,
sometimes.
you got to introduce me to this Todd Glass character.
I'll show you right
Not
now.
right now. Not right now.
The rest of our podcast will just be a Todd Glass podcast.
Please enjoy.
Yeah, typically the ones that I listen to are
Now we can talk about podcasts.
on the podcast for our first podcast.
So our podcast influences for our this is a non-podcast.
This is
Oh
a,
yeah, nice influence.
Actually, if we want to be technical with this non-podcast,
Yeah.
that's influenced by podcasts. Out of the 4 of us, I'm the only one who doesn't listen to podcasts. Yeah, I know. Chris
What
is
the fuck?
every time I tell Chris this, he's absolutely blown away. Like His hair's gone. His mind has just been blown clear off of its
His
head.
pants are off.
Here comes the helicopter.
And there he goes with sound effects. So yeah, I'm the only one who doesn't listen to podcasts on a
Damn,
regular
what's
basis.
wrong
I
with
mean,
you?
I
He
listen.
listens to fucking Game Grumps
I,
on YouTube.
I
Same,
listen to
listen
a
to
few
what?
gaming channels on YouTube. That's the and
He's
some
just like
conservative
Hector, man.
and some
Yeah.
conservative talk radio when I
Whoa!
drive. Yeah,
Whoa.
absolutely.
You got time for conservative talk radio?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
So,
not fucking-
Now, I listen to those two things, but I do not listen to podcasts. And it's not that I have something against podcasts. It's just James is the one who keeps suggesting, and I refuse to give in to anything that he suggests.
Well, now I'm suggesting.
Yeah,
Go fuck yourself. But you know, I'm the only one. You listen to podcasts. Obviously,
I love
you
it.
listen
I
to
love it.
nothing but Todd Glass.
Oh, there's a couple more.
Mr.
Essentially.
James over here is Joe Rogan's biggest fanboy.
I wish.
He just came to the thought of him. And
Rogan.
Lorenzo is just a combination of.
Oh, yeah, what's yours?
I don't know what podcasts do you listen. I know you listen to Joe Rogan.
I do like to listen to Joe Rogan. I do like to listen to other.
Name your top 5.
Do you listen to
I
Todd
don't,
Glass?
listen, I don't even listen to 5.
do you listen?
Fuck!
Hold on. Do you listen to Todd
You
Glass?
guys might as well be in the
Yeah, y'all
quick,
might as
man.
well fucking leave.
All right. Do you listen to Todd Glass?
No,
Chris,
I
get
have no
him.
idea who that is.
He's pounding him onto the floor. He's unconscious.
Yeah, here comes the helicopter.
We really need a video. For
I,
that.
I think from now on we're gonna refer to Chris as the helicopter. Chris the helicopter Buñuelos.
Yeah, but you need to. What do you do? What do you do for work, for a job, for
I-
a living?
I actually work at a truck parts company.
And you driving a truck, or what do you do?
I'm the dispatcher and warehouse
But
manager.
can you listen to stuff while you're working?
Yes, I can.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, please don't tweet me. Nah, man.
What?
No, I can listen to things, but I usually don't. The face he just gave me.
You know, I don't know if I want to live here anymore.
Actually, I can answer your question now of my top 5 podcasts because I actually have a list of them here now.
Wait,
on
you
my
listen to
podcast
5
app.
of them now?
Yeah, I actually listened to what's this 3, 6, 9, 12, looks like 15 podcasts.
Okay, but which ones
every
do you?
now and then.
Give us
The
your top.
ones that the ones that I usually listen to, usually on a daily basis, is like for instance, when it comes to NC, you got your normals like the Joe Rogan podcast, Fighter and the Kid, and then when it's like when football season comes around, I like to listen to the Cowboys break, but I just pretty much ignored that for this past season because I'm a Cowboys fan, so I was pretty depressed for the
Yeah.
past couple of months. 'Cause I hate them.
Yeah.
So and then there's
I
this
hate my favorite team.
yeah, I hate them. And then I listen to comic book and movie ones like the Weekly Planet or Comical or
What's that about? Comic books?
Yeah, comic books and movies and comic books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're hoping one day Lorenzo meets a nice girl.
Yeah,
Or boy. It's okay.
Yeah, or boy. Yeah, we're very progressive. This
Yeah.
podcast is so progressive.
or the Nerd Sync, whatever or I got the On It one too.
Isn't it
Yeah.
on a podcast?
On
So
it.
you heard it
Total
here. Those
Human
are the top
Optimization.
5
Yeah.
podcasts that Lorenzo endorses.
Yeah.
There you go.
So how much were you just paid for that?
I forgot to give them their slogan.
Yeah.
Tech Shroom support or something.
Don't take shrooms.
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with those two.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that shroom video, we would never have had our title.
Absolutely, yeah. This whole show is influenced by shrooms.
How y'all feel
Indirectly.
about people not listening to podcasts is how I feel about y'all not being into comic books.
Who says I
Like-
wasn't in the
Yeah,
comic
dude.
books?
My favorite comic.
Are
I
you
love
judging
comics.
me by the color of my skin?
I fucking love Charlie Brown. Go fuck.
What comic books?
The ones that aren't in the set.
That orange cat. What's his name?
Garfield.
Clifford.
That
This is what I gotta deal with on a daily basis.
one. Oh man, dangly parts.
Did you watch Deadpool? I don't know if you're a fan.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't watch it.
Jesus.
Still haven't
Sorry,
watched
man.
it. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What the
Ja-
fuck?
James, who is like,
Okay.
All right, spoiler alert
Yeah,
for
pause this
those
part.
of you who haven't seen the movie.
Me?
Deadpool was made by Marvel. It's based on a comic book. I know, right?
mind blown.
Sick burn! Here comes the burn helicopter
But those of y'all who don't know James, y'all might know that he's quite the elitist when it comes to
metal.
various art forms. No, not just that. Music, movies, whatever.
Not movies, not so much.
Porn.
No, dude,
Not poop. Not
as
movies.
much as
Two?
you were like
what
one of the
genre?
hardest people
What
to
is your
satisfy.
go-to porn?
when it
Whoa,
comes
did
to
y'all do that?
Oh, you know what? I think Chris was going on to an interesting topic. What?
Satisfying James.
No, James, a question directly to you. What is your go-to pornography? What gets you off? What?
He's pointing
Like
to
I
his
said,
penis right now.
No, like I said, he's an elitist.
It's only the finest, most pristine penises. Look at me.
The German Scheiße videos.
I'm really into the modern Western midget porn. I mean, it really had the conversations and the role play has to be really spot on. I mean,
You know, I have
It has
noticed.
to have a good plot.
I have noticed that in the midget genre of pornography, they tend to have the best plots.
do they?
Definitely.
What is that?
You got me.
What kind of midget porn do you watch, Chris?
I watched amateur midget porn. No, I'm joking. I don't.
Amateur ebony teenage midget porn with horses.
You know, Lorenzo knows a thing or two about porn.
Oh, absolutely.
Him and other people, I forgot who they are, but they're always talking about this one porn site.
For Christ's sake, no, it's because
Oh, he's trying to deny it. We're sorry.
no, because anytime you ever see like a meme or something like that has something to do with porn, they always use Pornhub, and apparently you didn't know what that was.
Bro,
Was there something on his hand?
you're slamming.
Oh, you're slamming.
I'm so frustrated.
I'm just so mad that nobody knows about this porn site.
Can I take a leak?
Oh, you could. You want to take the phone in there to record?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move this show on the road.
It's the
We're gonna
ninth,
follow Chris to the restroom.
it's the ninth door on your left.
We have a pretty big house.
Yeah, we live
Yeah,
in a
we're
mansion.
balling, man. We're free balling.
This show is taking a very immature turn.
It just went off the rails.
That's how it's
Yeah.
gonna be. Okay.
So Chris is actually in the bathroom. Oh, I can hear him pissing.
Did you
He's
and
pissing.
Daisy get around to watching Deadpool yet?
To watching porn?
To
Yeah,
watch-
absolutely. No, me and Daisy actually watch porn on a
No,
daily basis.
Deadpool porn.
Oh, Deadpool porn. Oh, okay.
Wait, real quick. What kind of porn? What kind of midget porn does your girlfriend enjoy watching?
Oh, my girlfriend, she actually enjoys three-way midget porns.
Three-way.
Yeah, three-way midget porns.
That's edgy.
Uh-huh.
That's so edgy. Chris is out of the bathroom. He's walking.
Chris, how was it?
Did you wash your hands?
So good.
Did you wipe
Yeah.
the seat?
How do you feel the distance between the toilet and your penis felt? Was it different because it's at your house, so maybe you're not so comfortable? Did you get your bearings?
I say, you know what? Surprisingly, about the same.
Yeah?
Felt good in there.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
It has a home feeling in there.
Now Nick is
Yeah.
throwing.
Yeah, now it's Nick's turn.
Gives me a tingling sensation. Yeah.
So you haven't watched Deadpool yet?
No, I haven't.
Do
I'm
you
sorry.
Are you a big movie guy?
You know what? No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Please, I'm sorry.
Documentaries, though, right? We're always talking about documentaries.
Yeah.
We're fist.
Hey,
bumping
we
doc-
just fist bump.
Yeah, we both of our fists met.
Here comes the fist bump helicopter. No, I'm
watched
not a
any-
big movie buff.
Any interesting documentaries lately?
There was one in 1994. No, I'm joking.
How
no,
about
I
Making a
was.
Murder?
Oh man.
Oh, that's so 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, you loser. I'm on the cooked.
No, but like, hey, no bullshit though. Like, after that documentary came out, so much shit has come out about that guy. Like,
Yeah.
I read an article the other day that his cellmate is talking about how much of
Yeah.
a piece of shit he is.
Yeah, you know, and that guy's in jail too. So
Yeah,
first of
he's
all-
like, I got nothing to lose. Hey, why should he get out?
I know. After that came out, yeah, stuff just came leaking out
But,
crazy.
but the thing is, like, I don't know where these things are coming from, so I don't know whether or not
Yes.
to believe them.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
The fucking cops are arresting him. The cops are fucking liars. So how the fuck am I supposed to trust his cellmate?
Yeah.
that
and,
guy's also a criminal.
and it's stuff you read on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How are we supposed to know any of this?
Well, they're not allowed to put anything on the internet unless it's true. Everything on the internet's
That's
accurate.
the only thing. That's my
If
Bible
it's not-
now.
If it's not on the internet, That's why I don't believe in God because I didn't read a blog about it.
Yeah, I know. You don't see him blocking.
Last time I checked, God doesn't have a podcast.
It would be called Godcast.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
That's
Godcast. You know that's pretty good.
Note to self.
Blasphemous.
Note to self: found a one-way ticket to hell.
Yeah, so I just don't know who to trust in all that thing because I don't know. I heard that he was fucking throwing dogs in fires or cats or something.
Well,
like
they mentioned that in the movie too.
They like really like kind of.
they glossed.
Yeah, they
over it.
glossed over it. That was
Yeah.
the best way to explain it.
And that certainly doesn't prove somebody to be a murderer, but man, that
does not look good.
not a lot of
Yeah.
people can do that sort of thing.
Yeah, if we found out a serial killer had thrown his cat in a fire, we'd be like, oh, of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course.
But if
I would
somebody,
expect
if I find out that you did it, I would be like, oh, he's a serial killer then too, probably.
What if?
Because that is like A1.
Yeah.
A1.
Yeah, they all
Murder
torture their
stuff.
animals, man. That's what
Yeah.
And like the way he explained it is like the way the two sides explained it was pretty funny to me because the people who were trying to show him as guilty were like, yeah, he tossed it into a fire pit. And then he was like, oh, well, we were tossing a cat around.
Well, I can tell that happens. Who here hasn't accidentally tossed a cat in a fire pit?
Yes, and then like it accidentally just went over the flames and ignited into a fire.
It's not that I burned the cat alive.
Yeah.
It's that we were playing catch with it, and I accidentally threw it into a fire.
You know, shit happens when you're getting crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the cat's fault for flipping around in the air.
Yeah.
And who made those things so damn flammable?
You know what? How many people in this country are gonna feel like complete fucking idiots if he comes out and is like, you know what, I fucking killed her, and I thought because I got out that one time that there's no way they would even try to put it on me. But yes, I did kill her.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel like a fucking idiot because
Yeah.
I'm over there watching
Well,
TV
no,
just angry.
I wouldn't feel like an idiot because of him. I would feel like not so much of an idiot, but I would be angry at the documentary makers for having such a compelling argument. Because like that's one thing you got to recognize is that whole documentary is extremely one-sided, and even though it does, even though it does look like more than likely that the cops had something to do with putting him in jail and framing him for possibly the rest of his life, like it, I'd like to have them respond in some way.
Yeah.
Remember when I went on? I was curious. So I went onto the Manitowoc, which is the name of the city that the guy was in.
Yeah.
The Manitowoc
the
sheriff's department was actually the one that was causing all the problems in the documentary, and people were posting shit on the city of city of Manitowoc's police department, and they basically kept on putting, "You've got the wrong guys." I was like, "Yeah, I'm a suck."
Absolutely.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him, no.
Dead air.
Dead air.
Dead air.
Look at that dead air.
Water break. What's your excuse? Talk about something.
I just want to point this out. In all this dead air, James just picked up my water bottle, started drinking from it.
And he just realized it now. He's going to throw up.
This is my mother.
I mean, I don't have a problem. We share a lot of things.
Listen, if I put this pin down my throat, you can get the water back. Is that an action you'd like me to take?
Only if it goes directly into my mouth. I don't want it to hit no cups.
Oh wait, they can't see it. I'm gonna continue to drink your water.
Absolutely, man. It's
I'm
yours
sorry.
now.
I apologize.
You can have it.
Another
Before
co-host?
we encounter this problem, is this mine or yours?
Oh, I don't think that's mine. So
I
think
say
that-
you take that gamble.
Yeah, go for it.
Let the record show he picked up the one to the
And
right.
he opens it, and he puts it to his lips. He's drinking it.
Now you got the Zika virus.
I got that swine flu.
Oh, yeah, the Zika virus. That's the one that makes the pregnant women in Brazil, their children are born.
Now it's here now.
Yeah, their children are born liberal or something, right?
The vote, voters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I have paid zero attention. I usually pay attention because that stuff's kind of cool sometimes, but this one, I'm over it. After swine flu and then SARS, I'm over it.
Yeah, I'm really surprised you're not keeping up with that because nine times out of 10, you're my go-to guy when I have questions about anything pregnancy related.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
Are you a pregnancy expert?
No, he's actually a mom. He's
Yeah.
a single mom.
Oh wow! Like what was that movie Junior?
Junior?
Arnold Schwarzenegger when he
Oh
becomes
yeah,
pregnant.
yeah. Oh
That's
fuck,
you.
man. Let's not ever reference that
Of all the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies to reference for the first time, Jesus.
No, does anybody know about the Zika virus?
movie. I don't know a single thing about
Well, I listened to a podcast about the Zika virus.
it. It's a whole podcast.
It wouldn't happen to be Todd Glass, but
It was the Katie Lillendahl or something podcast. But
you heard it here. Chris's endorsement.
Yeah.
Chris,
Hey,
the,
wow, 5 miles an hour.
Chris the helicopter has endorsed it here.
No, but the Zika virus is a lot like the flu virus, where you can take a shot and you won't get the Zika virus.
Yeah, each virus is completely different.
Yes, but it's also the same like threat level too.
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna get killed if you get the Zika virus, unless you're a really, really old man,
Yeah.
or you're an
Okay,
infant.
Gotcha.
Well,
Yeah, but
so we're good.
no, seriously, you are good.
No, you can get the Zika virus and it will have almost no effect towards you. But I think what it is they're saying that there's strong evidence, extremely strong evidence, to prove that it has direct correlations to when pregnant women are infected by the Zika virus. There's a strong correlation between them having the Zika virus and their children being born with birth defects.
Yeah, the little heads.
Yeah, specifically on their heads. You know,
It
they're
must make it easier for the women.
yeah, they're born with deformalities around their heads.
Oh, that's
it
not
makes
cool.
them a lot more aerodynamic.
They're much
God, that's
faster.
a horrible thing to joke about.
No, I haven't. I don't. I've heard about it on the things. I don't watch fucking TV. Like I'm in the loop when it comes to the news, but for whatever reason, I just.
But it's something that's kind of thrown out of proportion, though. It makes it seem like
What?
it's the next Black Plague or something.
Yeah.
But it's just like just a virus, and the pregnancy thing is obviously horrible.
Well,
but if you're pregnant,
I think one of the biggest reasons that that it's gotten big is because
it's got that cool name.
It's
Zika.
it's the fact that it starts with the letter Z. That's just so
Yeah.
fucking odd.
Wow, Zika's coming at you.
Wait, side note. How many punk and metal bands do you think are going to be naming?
A million.
God damn, yeah. No, but what really makes it like so popular? Well, not popular. It just it's
Hey
the
guys,
new
it's
trend.
trending. It's trending
Yeah.
on Twitter.
It probably is.
Let's check.
But
It's triggering nurseries.
what makes it such a news story is that its strongest. It's mostly affecting the South America regions. You know, Brazil.
People with shitty access to clean water.
Yeah, all the horrible healthcare countries. But yeah, it's affecting them, and what people are scared of is that the Olympics are actually going to be held in Brazil pretty soon.
Oh, really?
And they're advising, absolutely no pregnant women to go there.
Yeah, of course.
They're telling all pregnant women, do not attend, this year's Olympics because of the correlation between the Zika virus and these birth defects. And they don't want it to be,
Right.
they don't want it to be that much of a spread.
Yeah, do you have to go soon, Chris?
Yeah, I do.
Do you really?
Yeah, I gotta pick up Rachel.
Nice.
Is your mom picking you up?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she's picking Rachel. It's the whole thing.
Do you have to go soon?
Yeah, I'm at a couple minutes, but
I'm sorry. Well, let us know. We'll cut it.
no, you just continue without me.
Nah, I
let
mean-
it ride, baby. Let it ride.
Because we've already done an hour. This is
All right, let
hard
me
to
do my
edit.
plugs. Hey, follow me at Chris Bensuelo's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Top of the hour coming at ya. Weather's looking like 66, highs of 72.
That's literally part of the guidelines.
He just violated 1 through 7.
he violated like 8 of the 16 rules we had.
Yeah. There's really no real big news going on. I mean, locally, did you see that thing about the thing in Bel Air? There was that cowboy thing going on. Cowboy thing.
Oh, rodeo.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
Cowboy thing.
Actually, hey.
Yeehaw,
Hey,
yeehaw.
really, fuck this topic. Let's talk about this some other time. There's actually something I really wanted to talk about
Oh.
with Chris.
Come on.
I wanted to talk about where you're at with Hallusions, man.
Oh,
Let's hear it.
Like, cause I know it's nowhere near that season,
Yeah.
but
Building season.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe building season. I'm not interested more in what you have planned for the future because that's for another
Thank
time.
you.
But
Thank you.
what I'm more
Who's
interested is
interested,
in now that it's been 4 months, 5 months since
Yeah.
Halloween. Are you reaping any of the benefits or debts from the last illusions you did?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, last year.
Well, should you tell them real quick about?
Oh
yeah,
Hi,
yeah.
my name is Chris Manuel.
Yeah, let's talk about illusions for a minute and what it is.
Okay, I own a haunted house. Me and my wife, we put together a haunted house in Houston, Texas, live top of the hour between Richmond and Westheimer. Yeah. Either way, so last year was a financial failure in every sense of it.
Yeah. But
and-
your morals are high, right?
Oh yeah.
That's what's important.
So it's a rebuild phase right now, and
Yeah.
and it's about honestly if I can do it because
Yeah.
I was brutally beat last
Yeah.
year so bad,
Yeah.
and there's a reason for it. That's how businesses work. You
Yeah.
know? It's just
Everything's a gamble. Everything's a risk,
Yeah.
and you either win or you don't.
yeah, and most businesses they don't make money for whatever first I don't know, but like haunted houses are even harder because it's seasonal. So theirs are like 3 to 5 years when they're supposed to start
Yeah.
making money. So I'm going into my third year, and it's just trying to figure. Transworld's coming up. That's the biggest haunted house convention for haunted houses.
You said Trans World.
Yeah, Tranny World.
That sounds like something way different than Halloween.
That sounds scary as shit.
His dad was posting on Facebook about being a trans girl, and I was like, "What the fuck's his dad doing?"
Yeah, but either way, I'm going there, and that should really get the juices flowing again. 'Cause-
Hopefully, you'll get some great ideas from other people who have done it. Yeah.
Are you? I remember we had a talk about possibly splitting it in two.
Yeah.
Is that still a go, or what do you have? Where are you at?
To me, that's what I should have done last year. It was dumb that I didn't because that was my idea coming out from the year before. I said I have to do 2 next year. That's the only way to make money is by splitting it up and trying to have 2.
But to be fair, it's not like you could though, because all that bullshit that happened with the city.
Yeah, I know.
You faced a lot of complications
I did,
with
and,
the property owners in the last one that you did.
Yeah, well, some with them, but mainly with the city of Houston.
Oh, okay.
Dealing with fire codes and all that,
Yeah.
which is that's me being ignorant.
Yeah,
you know? I
it's
don't-
law. It's just you didn't know, and
Well, that's why it's hard to start a business on, because all the fucking
Yeah.
red tape, man. It's so
Yeah.
hard to have a
It
business.
is.
you don't find out what guidelines and restrictions that are in place already until you're already neck
Well,
deep in.
Yeah.
Well, even if you find them out, they're so fucking hard to get around.
Yeah.
It's so hard already. That's why all these jobs are going off to fucking China and Mexico and shit. Cause
Let's go start a haunted house in China and Mexico.
yeah, I hear
Actually-
capitalism's going great in Mexico. Right now.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Yeah.
and by the way, I'm very much looking forward to coming back and getting that
Oh.
Best Actor trophy,
Ooh.
gaining what's rightfully mine.
Yeah.
For those who don't know,
Back
Well,
up.
yeah, let's
Right.
back up. Let's back
Backstory.
up. Let's back up a little bit here. Last October, when he first moved to Illusions, I put on the performance of a lifetime
He-
over the course of a month.
He was an actor.
Yeah, I was an actor. I was an actor in this haunted house, and
Sorry for my laugh.
I was damn well. By damn it, I was the best actor in that house until somebody
Allegedly.
at this very
Allegedly.
table.
Oh no! Yeah, you're right. I forgot.
At this very table, fucking undermined me. You broke the guidelines, by the way. Fucking undermined me, and he was like, "Hey, Chris, look, I know Lorenzo full well deserves this." He's ever since he's heard about this Illusions place, he's wanted to be part of this.
In James's exact words, this is the conversation that took place between him and Chris. He said, "Listen, man, I know Lorenzo's my best friend in the whole wide world, and he's by far the best actor I've ever seen in the history of acting. But I really think you shouldn't give him the prize for the best actor."
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to undermine him. I need to teach him a lesson.
Yeah, I can't let him get this over me.
All right, so here's a little backstory. Come on. All right, Lorenzo is a great actor. I'll give him that. He was a great actor. I think he did the most physical work and probably the most manual labor as well. Just from
Already.
jumping all over the place.
Already,
Listen.
Lorenzo is in tears.
Yes, listen. But at the end of the day, it was down to him and some homeless kids. These kids were fucking homeless.
Oh, and I'm trophyless now. So who's the
Hey,
real loser?
you know what? You're right though. You did the right thing because at the end of the day,
It was up to them, though. It was up to Chris and his wife.
You did the right thing. At the end of the day, these kids didn't go home, but they didn't go home to a trophy. With the trophy, they have a trophy. They don't have homes. They got a trophy.
Nice.
Listen,
So you did the right thing, man.
So I was working there.
What do you think that trophy is now?
Huh?
Pawn shop.
They pawned it for crack. Well, listen, they were homeless. And it wasn't up to me. I was telling them, though, listen.
I lost my voice.
This guy's my roommate. If you guys give it to Lorenzo, it's gonna look like I was playing like that. You guys were playing favorites, or maybe I. And these are kids that you have planned coming on next year. We're not sure if Lorenzo's gonna come back next year. Who the fuck knows?
He knows.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't know.
He's
He could
almost completely committed.
He
Look
could
at
get
him.
hit by a car tomorrow, and that trophy would have made no difference.
He was just talking about how he's going to win the trophy
I-
next year.
I-
He doesn't know.
that-
I am the DiCaprio of this haunted house, okay? And I will get what is rightfully mine.
Yeah, Lorenzo, you were very good, actually. And let me tell you though, I don't know if I told you, but James told me. He said, "Man, Lorenzo's the best actor. When you see him work,
Yeah.
he's gonna be so good." And then like the first night you were there, I was like, "Man, what's he talking about? This guy sucks." But let me tell you, because I would stand, like that post or whatever where I would be, and you were the furthest one. So I would hear the other cats, whatever. Man, I forgot
The
their
homeless
names.
kids.
Yeah, all the kids, that whole
all the
whatever
homeless
kinder
kids.
care out there.
Statutory Chris.
It was half haunted house, half soup kitchen.
God, dude.
But yeah, they were like killing it. Like I said, wow, it's amazing. I was like, I don't hear anything over there. But not till I started moving around. Then I walked over to you. I was like, oh my god, this is like a movie. I'm watching a movie or something. It was totally awesome stuff.
Thank you.
I do gotta say,
He's bowing. Stop bowing. Lorenzo.
I do gotta say, by far, don't you think I was the greatest volunteer there?
Yes,
Out of
it
all
was
of them.
amazing. The guy showed up butt naked. He did ask for
I scared every child.
And impressed
Look,
many
look,
women.
I'm just saying,
Impressed
out
many
of
women.
all of the people there not getting paid, I was the best.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he showed up butt naked. I like to say he scared all the children, impressed many women, and depressed many men.
Damn straight. Damn straight. They don't call me cheese wheel for no reason. Okay?
Let's not get into that.
Let the record show they call him Cheese Wheel. So wait, if I didn't tell you guys, like, man, you guys can't do Lorenzo.
Oh
you
my God.
You can't win. You can't get. What, did that influence change who won the best actor?
Yeah,
Would it still have gone
it
to
did.
Chris?
No, well, to be honest,
I'm not convinced.
No, it made it easy. It made it easy. To be honest, Chris and him, to me, we're tied.
Yeah.
And then you said, don't give it to Lorenzo. He was like, oh, I guess I'm giving it to Chris.
And I said, okay, well, that's easy.
Congratulations, James. You're a
I think
horrible
this
friend.
is so controversial, though. It's still we don't have any hard evidence.
He's telling you to your face.
No.
You changed my
I'm not convinced. Though.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
so this October, bank on it. I'm coming back for what's
Listen,
mine.
if those kids found a place to live, maybe you would win this year.
Yeah.
I'll buy them a house. now the terms are even.
But now they'll have a place to practice.
You know, my only hope is that this kid actually ends up listening to this podcast and comes to the realization he got a sympathy trophy.
Oh man!
But he didn't.
He's gonna be like,
He'll never know.
He's gonna be like, I'm glad I fucking pawned that thing.
I need my crack.
It was worth all 3 rocks of crack I got for it. Like a trophy's worth that much.
You good on time? We don't want to keep you.
Oh, yeah, man.
Look,
Let me
Chris,
see
I
what
know
you
you've got better things to do. Dead air, dead air,
Dead air,
dead air,
dead
dead air.
yeah. Hey, top of the hour coming at you. 45 back to the left. Got a loads of 72 coming at you. I got a thunderstorm coming in.
I got
Say
a
loads of 72.
I do got a roll ski.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank
So,
you.
let's
Hey,
end
you know what?
this.
Hey, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up and call this a show, an episode. What are we gonna call it, James?
Episode 1.
Episode 1 of
Amazing.
This Is Gonna Die.
This is James. I'm here with Nick, Lorenzo, and Chris.
You gotta give your plugs.
I would like to thank Aquafina. This is the only bottled water I'll drink, to be completely honest. I don't drink any other water.
Everything else tastes like dog shit in the bottle.
Really?
I'd rather have a dog diarrhea in my face and wash it down with cat piss wrapped in moose semen than fucking drink anything else.
Yeah.
Aquafina, drink this.
I'll second that.
Is that for a shoot?
This moose once said semen all over me. Anyway, all right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up, guys. We really appreciate it if you could subscribe and maybe share. If you enjoyed it, please share to your friends.
Yeah, follow us
Yeah.
on Instagram,
we
Twitter.
don't- we don't have any of those, but yes.
Google
Those are
Plus,
coming soon.
LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
Kit.
Wait,
What is that?
MySpace, Friendster,
Vampire Freaks.
Friendster, AIM.
All right, so when we
Like
hop
all
on
of
that
them.
social media train and we get all those, we'll find you. We'll like your page. Just please reciprocate.
Hey, thanks for listening. This is gonna die. Later.